Alright, so here is our next project. So I was out doing some chores this morning, and I've been eyeballing this engine for a while now. Um, have a project that's going to require an engine coming up, and so I went ahead and picked this up this morning, and we will go ahead and start in on this while we're waiting for our other project to come around. Hey guys, RB here, ready to start a new series. Look what I've got beside me, an engine. So, if you're new to my channel, thank you for coming. We've got a new project that we're about ready to head off on here. Where to start? Over the summer. So, as summer turned into fall, I had a couple friends that were busy doing a site cleanup on a house that I believe was going into foreclosure status or something. And they contacted me and said, hey, there's this old funky looking tractor sitting here. We're getting ready to scrap it. We thought we might see if you're interested in it first. So they sent me a picture, and lo and behold, it was an old Gibson tractor, and pretty much there. The tires are rotted out really bad, but was missing an engine. So I have acquired an engine. I picked it up today, and I think I'm ready to start on this project. Kind of how I see this going down. I think that first things first, I know there's water in this engine, so I do want to get that out of there. So we'll go ahead and do that here this evening, get the fluids drained out of it and kind of assess it and see where we're at. I'd like to get this engine running. Once we know it's a good runner, then we'll probably go ahead and take it apart and rebuild it, get her painted up, cleaned up, maybe a new ID tag. We'll see what it's going to involve. The only part missing that I can see off this engine is the air cleaner, oil bath air cleaner. I do have a lead on one of those, so not the end of the world. We'll go ahead and acquire that. So this tractor, I think the steps are we'll get the engine all cleaned up, restored, then we'll go ahead and bring the tractor in, and we got some things that we need to cut off the frame on the tractor, go ahead and take the wheels off of it, restore the frame, get the motor mounted back to the frame, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for wheels on that. Tires are available, it's just the expense factor, so need to look at that down the road here. But excited to start this. It's been a long week. I took a day this week and ended up at the World Ag Expo in Tulare, California. Loads of fun. I had never been before. I was in hog heaven, being a tractor person, antique tractors, new tractors, bobcats, excavators. Oh yeah, it was loads of fun. So I was appreciative to be able to do that. So it's late tonight, but we're going to go ahead and start on this, and we'll see where we get to. I just want to play around this weekend, tinker in the garage. So that's where we're at. Hope you enjoy this content. If you would, subscribe, and we are going to make a whole series out of this. So thank you. So this is the engine. This is a Wisconsin AEH engine. I've worked with these engines before. In fact, last one I did, I went ahead and bought a owner's manual or a service manual for it. So I do have engine information for these. I have another garden tractor that has one of these on it, so it's really cool that this one uses the same engine. Really happy about that. So, as I said, with the air cleaner being there, there was some plastic over the air cleaner, but it had fallen off, and so the air cleaner tube is completely full of water. So hopefully it just stopped at the carburetor. So what I'd like to do tonight is go ahead and break that free and get that water out of there. Maybe go ahead and drain the carburetor too. Engine oil, I believe, is a little bit dark as well. Let's go ahead and check and see what it is. This one's cool. Has a nice little cap on the side. Yeah, so the oil, yeah, it's dark. Looks like it has a little water in it, as to be expected. So, yeah, that's where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go ahead and get the oil change or oil out of it tonight. Get the carburetor probably pulled. That way we can get all the water out of it and assess it. It is free, but I don't want to. You can just hear it gurgling there. So I don't want to turn it over too much and put all that in. It does have a little compression, so hopefully it didn't affect the valves. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm probably going to go ahead and get this up on blocks. That way I can get an oil pan in there or possibly just drain it off into a pan on the floor. So let me get it set up and see what we want to do here. Alright, so let's see where we're at here. Go ahead and pull the oil plug. Oh yeah, look at that. Gonna make a mess everywhere. Set you guys down. Alright, so crisis diverted. I just pulled the engine off a little bit more. And look at all that oil coming out. It's definitely dirty. There we go. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to let it go for a little bit, and I'll probably go ahead and flush it out. It's probably the best thing to do at this time. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get this taken apart over here. Get this off there. Let's pull this pipe off. See how big of a mess we can make. Alright, so I've gone ahead and removed the bolt back here, loosened up this line here, and now I'm working on this. The good news is that the choke is free, so I don't think that water's been sitting in there very much. We had a really good rainstorm last week, so that's probably when it happened. So I need to get this loose. I just put some soaker stuff on it, and hopefully I can get that knocked loose. I have a question for you guys. So lately I've had issues with WD-40. I've got 4 cans here, and they've all got stuff in them, but it's like the air's gone bad in them, and I don't get it. I mean, this is my newest can, and it's still like a third of the way full. Any ideas? Any maintenance on those? I'm thinking I might want to use a can opener maybe and crack them open and get the fluid out. I know there can't be a whole lot of air in them. So any ideas? It'd be great. And maybe you got a penetrating oil that you prefer. I'd like to hear. I'm back to using this. This is some stuff I just picked up, which has been pretty good. Fleet, Mr. Rusco. So let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and try to bust that thing loose here. Alright, so I did get the screw out. This just has a flat head on it. These can be a pain to do. The trick that I use is I will use a screwdriver. I'll soak it up real good. Use a tap hammer and just kind of tap around it a little bit. And then I use a good flat screwdriver, the best one that fits in there. And I'll use this. And I will, in conjunction, just kind of wiggle it back and forth. You don't want to get crazy with them. But that usually does the trick. Heat will do the trick too. And then what I have going on here is this kind of smashes together over that. That's how it tightens down. So I've got it opened up. So this part is loose now. So with a little persuasion, I should be able to. Oh yeah, look at that, everywhere. I told you I was gonna make a mess. All right, let me go and get this mess cleaned up, and then we'll progress on. Yeah, it's still leaking a little bit. The carburetor is full of water. The carburetor is gonna come off. So the next step is going to be go ahead and move these 2 bolts. We'll get that pulled off. I'll go ahead and loosen that up first. That should be it. There may be, yeah, there's a governor thing there too. So we'll go ahead and undo all these latches and stuff, and go ahead and remove that carburetor, because I mean it's full of yucky stuff. So that's where we're at. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get you guys set up for the action here. So I've undone the linkages. Let's go ahead and get this carburetor off of here. This is an updraft carburetor. They're fairly simple to work on. Oh yeah, full of water. Go ahead and get our container ready here. Look at that. Oh, not the gasket. Okay, so there's just a little bit in there. Butterflies still feel good. So we'll probably end up go ahead and split that and clean that carburetor really good. Alright, so the carburetor's off. I don't have to worry about it sucking stuff up in there anymore. Let's go ahead and spin her over. Alright. Ooh. Cool. So it does have good compression. The mag is kicking, so that's a good thing. So I am seeing moisture come out of here, which I'm not crazy about. Let's go ahead and pull the spark plug wire next, or the spark plug itself. Alright, so a couple things. I noticed that the boot was really stuck on this, so I used pliers and I loosened it up, but no good. The tip of it's busted off on the top of the spark plug. And then down here, it just has a crimp-on connector. So this spark plug wire will need to be replaced. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and see what the plug looks like here. Plug actually looks pretty good. I'm not seeing anything there. It's dry, so I'm thinking whatever moisture is coming out of the tube there is just residual. So we're good with that. All right. So I think what I'd like to do now is maybe go ahead and put the plug in and drop some diesel in it and slosh it around a little bit. And let's just get some of the crustiness out. So I put a little diesel in my jug here. It's typically for oil. I had a bunch of oil residue in it, so I figured I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, kind of slosh that out, and then in the process go ahead and slosh out the engine. So why I use diesel? There are things that you can put in here. I think diesel works the best for this kind of stuff. It's like a natural parts cleaner. I don't care to use regular parts cleaner because it leaves residue on the inside. It's really hard to get out. So I usually just go ahead and do diesel. Doesn't take very much. I'm going to go ahead and just put, oh gosh, there's probably, I don't know, maybe a pint, a quart of diesel I put in this. So what I'll do is I've already got the plug in. I'll go ahead and put that back in. And this is where it gets rough. I'm going to go ahead and swirl the engine around a little bit, crank it over a little bit, just to get that diesel moving around. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and drain it off right into the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back to you guys. Right, so I have swashed the engine around, moved it around, cranked it over a few times. I'd like to see what's in there now. So what we're going to do is we can go ahead and remove that dipstick one more time. When we drain this, I'm going to drain this into a container so that we can see what it looks like. So I'll try to hold you guys here as we do this. Okay. Oh yeah. Smells like diesel. Yep, I must have a cut on my hand because I got a burning sensation. Okay, I think that's good. We'll go ahead and let the rest of that go out there. It's definitely dark. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Still see the bottom, but yeah, so then we got a little bit diesel parts cleaner. The other thing you could do with these, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, is you can blow a little compressed air through. Sometimes that will force through any chunks that are in the bottom. Like I said, we're not really worried about this because if we do get this engine running, we will be taking it apart to give it a nice clean paint job and essentially restore it. So I'm just going to go ahead and blow it out a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. Right, so it's all cleaned up here. I blew it out. It's still dripping a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and let it do that, and while that's doing that, we'll go ahead and pull the glass bowl off and get it cleaned up and take a look down inside the tank. Yeah, the glass bowl has a little bit of debris in the bottom. It's not bad considering. Don't know anything about this engine, how long it's been sitting. That'll wipe out good. I'm going to go ahead and go in the house with this and use some warm water and just Dawn dish soap. That seems to clean those up really nice. Inside the tank, so let me see if I can grab my flashlight here, see if I show you guys a view. So Oh, it's going to be so hard. The inside of the tank doesn't look too terribly bad. I don't know if you guys could see that. Not bad. It's a little corroded. I'll probably flush it out just a little bit before I put fuel in, or maybe put a little fuel in and then wiggle it around a little bit and just see what I can get out. I think overall it's probably in okay shape to go ahead and start this. When we go to restore it, then we'll probably go ahead and run a chain in it. We'll have it off and move it around a little bit. So I went ahead and flushed some diesel through there, put some diesel in and put the cap on, sloshed it around a little bit, and then drained it all out. Made a mess all over my counter yet again. Not a big deal. That's why we got rags. So we're good there. Yeah, and then so I believe that the tank will be okay. I am still trying to clean the cup for it, or the glass. It was pretty crusty across the bottom, so I've got some warm soap soaking in it right now. I'll go in a little bit and get her cleaned up. So let's see, what have we done? So carburetor is off. We've drained the oil. We've cleaned the we're cleaning the bowl, and we've drained the gas, made sure everything's good there. I think the next thing I want to do is go ahead and pull off this mag. Obviously we're going to have to do something with the wire. I'd like to go ahead and pull the cap off and check the points and maybe go ahead and clean them. That way we know that they're good when we reassemble this thing. Otherwise it's kind of a pain to take that mag off down the road. So let me go ahead and do that. I believe that this one has 2 bolts across the bottom, and then I may have to remove this cap. I can't quite remember how it connects in there. Yeah, so we'll get into that and we'll see where we're at. Alright, so I went ahead and removed the 2 bolts across the bottom, and the mag is now loose. Yeah, so I believe it'll come right on out of there. Most important thing is we're going to need to mark it. I'm just going to use a paint pen for right now. It is best to go ahead and get a punch out and punch a set of dots or something on the splines. That way they're lined back up perfectly. I'm going to try not to turn the crank over or anything while I have this off. That's always another good tip. We don't need to be playing around with timing issues on this one. So let me go ahead and pull that off, and we'll see what our next step's going to be. Alright, so as I remember now, this is kind of a cool design. So this just comes back and comes across, and there's a little plate there that converts it over. So we can go ahead and take that down. We'll just set her right off to the side there. The drive looks good. It's important to know where it's at. So I'm going to go ahead and mark, let's see, spline to spline, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I mark that here. Alright, so I went ahead and put a mark there, and then one there and one down inside the dog as well. So that'll line things up pretty good. We'll go ahead and remove the cap and see where the rotor's at. And that'll be another marking point. I'm going to go ahead and switch out batteries on this thing. My camera is telling me I'm low on batteries. So let me go ahead and get a battery, and we'll resume here shortly. So next thing we'll go ahead and do here is we'll go ahead and take this wire off, get it out of our way. Yeah, that's just a cap. There we go. Alright, see you later, alligator. Yeah, that is not the right spark plug wire. So we'll definitely be fixing that. Throw it in here. Now this is one thing that I do and I recommend is when you take stuff apart, always, try to put the bolts back in where they came from, and then get yourself bins and put stuff in them, label them. That's always a good thing, so all your parts are there and they don't roll and fall onto the floor. So let me go ahead and pop this cap. To do that, this one actually has a bell, which tells me that this is a really early white goat. So let me go ahead and pop that bell, and then this corner should come off. And then we may go ahead and pull the screws out as well. Take the whole cap off. Alright, so I went ahead and just used a little screwdriver and was able to pop the bail off, and then there's this little cap that covers it here, and that's the access door to the points. So yeah, typical points. Good thing that we did this. I can see corrosion on the point still there, so we will definitely want to clean that up here. So I think what I'm going to do, that's going to have to be fixed. Let's see, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull the cap off of this one. That way we can get more access and we can inspect the wires and make sure that the wires aren't broken and stuff. Okay, I went ahead and backed off those screws. Let's go ahead and see if it's like together. I may not be able to do it because that's right. Gosh, let me go ahead and undo these here. These are running to the coil inside, so it's not going to have enough room. And then we should be able to remove that. And like that, there we are. So I was able to just loosen or take out that screw. That's where all the wires mesh together. So now we're able to see inside. The inside's pretty clean. I'm glad with that. I'm not seeing any rust or anything. And then the wires are all in good shape there. Now, hint, give you kind of a preview of what's coming later in the channel here this winter. My John Deere AW Magneto has issues, and I have a suspicion that the wires are brittle and broken and grounding off on the inside. So we'll be going through a Wyco Magneto for a John Deere later this winter. Let's get through this project first and see what comes. So anyways, with this off, I'm going to go ahead and probably get a wire brush in here still the same. But just go over it lightly and knock off anything I can. Looks pretty good. The main contact up top here, probably give it a little cleaning too. And then, yeah, that contact's good. We'll go ahead and clean the points. This is the easiest way to do them, is with them like this. Maybe lube up the lobe there a little bit. Yeah, and then we should be able to put this back together. I'm going to go ahead and clean in the compartment there just a little bit. And I think that we'll start the assembly process. So, to clean the points, there is a points file, and I don't know what I did with mine. I'm going to have to clean my toolbox to find it. So what I did is, this is just a fine piece of sandpaper that has softness on the back, lack of better words. These work pretty good because you can file on one side while it cleans the other side, then file on that side while it cleans the other side. So I went ahead and cleaned the points. They're snapping pretty good. I'm happy with them. They're lining up. I can see metal on both sides, so we should be good there. What I want to do now is a couple drops of oil right on this felt, and then we should be ready to go ahead and put this thing back together. I don't see no damage or anything I need to be suspicious of in here. So we'll go ahead and do that and clean up the engine compartment a little bit right in here. And we'll go ahead and slide the Magneto back in this thing and probably go ahead and put oil in it. Alright, so I got the Magneto all back together and it's ready to go in. I did wipe this down just a little bit. So these AEH engines, I really like them because they're so narrow. And then they got the nice shroud. So yeah, these are fun little engines to go through. I can't wait to go through this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put the mag back up there and get her hooked back up. And then we'll see what's next here. So I think I'm ready to go ahead and put oil in this. I just have a few miscellaneous half quarts and stuff around. Pro tip here, when you're out yard selling, always grab oils. Yeah, I mean, you end up with a shelf that looks like this, but look at all the money that you save in the long run. So I'm going to go ahead and put oil in. There's some 1030 and then 30 weight. Doesn't really matter because, like I said, our goal here is to get this thing running, and then once it's running, then we know we got a good bones, and we'll probably go ahead and take this completely apart and restore it, get it painted up. Once the engine's done, then we'll move to the chassis. So yeah, and then at that point, we'll be putting new oils and stuff in it anyways. So I've got the oil topped off. I went ahead and got the glass bowl all cleaned up. Looks good. Now I am noticing that there is a crack in the bottom of this, and I think that's probably from somebody over tightening it. So we won't get crazy with it. Hopefully it don't leak. We're not going to put a whole lot of gas in this thing anyways. So yeah, we'll take care of that when we go to do a restoration. I'm going to go ahead and put the bell back on, the glass, or the fill valve, and get the bowl on, and then we'll see where we're at. Alright guys, so I think the last thing I want to do for tonight is go ahead and crack open the carburetor here and see what kind of damage may be done on the inside. It was definitely holding water, so see what we got. Yeah, that's probably a good spot to stop. So yeah, let me go ahead and get that cracked open. Alright, so I've got the 4 bolts off, which bolts the top to the bottom, and they are rusty on the bottom side. So yeah, see what we're getting into. So next step is to split it. I'm probably going to lose the gasket on this one. I'm going to try to keep it, but we'll see what happens here. You can split them by using a rubber mallet and just kind of beating around the outside edge and kind of getting a little bit freed up and see what happens. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll come back to you. Boy, am I glad I went ahead and did this one. So there isn't much of a gasket left on this one. Not a big deal. In fact, it looks like somebody used some Permatex, so somebody's probably been in this. But yeah, it rusted in there. So yeah, we're going to be rebuilding a carburetor. We should be able to keep the jets and everything. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of start tearing it down. That way I can get parts soaking tonight. And then tomorrow we'll reassemble. Alright, so we almost got the carburetor taken apart. I'm having issues getting this out. And one thing that you can do anytime you got metal or cast iron and brass is if you apply some heat and let it cool down, maybe apply some heat again and let it cool down, usually those come right off. So I'm just going to use my little propane torch here and do that, get some heat going and stuff, and that should come right on out. So I'm going to do that. Went ahead and got the old gasket off of this, cleaned it up. That's been pretty stubborn. I am not going to do anything with it right now. That's a seat for the float, so I really don't want to break it. I'm just going to leave it the way it is for right now. It really doesn't need to come out of there. I can get stuff cleaned up. It's just a passage for the main fuel, and it's just the like for the float. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and throw these in some diesel tonight, let them soak, and then tomorrow we'll get the ultrasonic cleaner out and clean up the rest of the parts and see how that... Alright guys, after going ahead and getting videos off my camera and onto my computer, realized that this first video is running a little bit long. So I'm going to go ahead and end this first video right here. It is the next day. And I did put the carburetor in here with a little diesel, let it soak throughout the night, and where we're at right now is we're ready to go ahead and pull those out and get them cleaned up. And then we will also be doing a parts cleaner. This is my parts cleaner, a little small, but works great for all these. So in the next video we'll be cleaning parts up, and then I'm going to have to build a new gasket to join the carburetor back together. So we'll cover that in the next video. So yeah, please stay tuned. Hope you're enjoying this content. Look forward to your comments, and let's get this thing going. So take care.